Heather McDonald has got the juiciest scoop. When you're on the road, when you're on the go, Juicy Scoop is the show to know. She talks Hollywood tales, her real life Mr. Segment serial data and serial sister. You'll be addicted and addicted fast to the #1 tabloid real life podcast. Listen in, listen up. Woo woo. Heather McDonald, Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. As always, so much juicy scoop and hot topics to get into. I'm going to go through them all, including my fun, exciting Hollywood party that I went to. And then I will get into the real drama that's happening over in Bravo land. This episode of Juicy Scoop is brought to you by Booking.com, Booking.yeah. From vacation rentals to hotels across the U.S., Booking.com has the ideal stay for anyone because there's so much to choose from in whatever city you're looking at. And I know that we're looking into it and there's so much to choose from, and I'm so excited to do that. So if our family can find the perfect stay on Booking.com, anyone can. Find exactly what you're booking for. Booking.com, Booking.yeah. Book today on the site or in the app. But first, it started off in Bravo land because I went to a party celebrating Nikki Hilton's jewelry line called Theo Grace at the beautiful home of Kathy Hilton. I get into more details behind the scenes, of course, on my Patreon, which you can always join at heathermcdonald.net. But I never really know what to expect. If it's going to be, I've been there when it's just been a low-key shopping event for her shoe line and for Kathy's jewelry line. So I didn't know what this was going to be. And it was filmed for the Real Housewives. And I got to see all of them and talk to many of them. They were looking gorgeous. I found out later that I believe that was one of the last quote unquote filming days for the season. And then later on Saturday, Alexia, their second daughter, I think she is the oldest daughter between Kyle and Mauricio because Farrah was from a previous marriage. She got married. She was a really adorable, very type A personality who was featured on Buying Beverly Hills as Mauricio's daughter. She got married, and through People magazine, there's some photos floating around and ones that she's shared, and it looked like a really fun, fabulous wedding. And the only photos I saw of housewives that did go were a photo of Lisa Rinna and Teddy Mellencamp, and then Erica Jane, who, by the way, I talked to Erica Jane and I said, I really like that you're dating Spencer Pratt's friend, the former Navy SEAL or whatever, goes by Shrek, but in a hot way guy. And they're still going strong. So I said, I really like that for you. I think it's time you have like a manly man. And she was really cool and looking great. I really like what's going on with Erica Jane in her life now after it's been a few years since all the shit went down. So I think all the ladies look great. There were a couple new ladies there who I did not talk to. So I think it's going to be a great season. I heard it wouldn't be airing till like January. But for more of that, sorry, you're going to have to go over there. But it's great seeing everybody. And the wedding looked spectacular for Alexia. I do not think it was filmed for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. In fact, I'm like 99% sure it was not. And I don't know which of the other Hiltons and stuff went, because then last night I saw that Nikki Hilton and Paris were on the red carpet at the VMAs, which is in New York City. And the wedding, I think, was Saturday night. However, you could make both. So I'm assuming they attended, since it seems like everything's good with the Hiltons and Kyle Richards' family. So yeah, it was really, really fun and a beautiful event. And check out her jewelry because I really like it. I'm wearing one of the gold butterflies here, but it's these really cool lockets that then you can, when you order them, you can put in a photo. So then the locket automatically has the photo of your family or your pet or your child when you get it. So anyway, I loved it. And it was very nice past apps, beautiful day, beautiful decor. I ran into Denise Richards, who's always so sweet. She's one of my favorite interviews I've ever done here on Juicy Scoop. And she looked great. And so we talked a little bit, and I just said, I'm so sorry you're going through all this with your divorce from Aaron. And I'm like, full disclosure, I'm covering it on Juicy Scoop. And she was just so great and such an open face sandwich about it all. And she said that the ladies have been extremely supportive of her and of the whole situation. It's been really lovely. And I said, I mean, what a nightmare. I go, I can't believe you're going through this again. She's like, I know. That's why it should have happened earlier, and it wasn't happening because I never wanted to go through another awful divorce. Now, of course, she is friendly with Charlie and has been for quite a while, and they're on really great terms. She went to the premiere. Charlie's documentary, which comes out September 10th, is making headlines for some of the very revealing things that he talks about in it. For people like me, we remember when he had his full breakdown when he was at the height of his career of 2.5 Men, where he was talking about tiger's blood. He literally went on like a stand-up tour because every day it was just a crazy thing that we were reporting on Chelsea lately about what was going on. And, he always had like a crazy dating life. I believe he dated a very famous porn star for a long time that he was going to marry or wanted to marry. And then he married beautiful Denise Richards. And for, I don't know, maybe a year and a half, it seemed pretty blissful. She left him when she was pregnant with the second daughter. Then he married this woman, Brooke. And she has been in and out of rehab like 21 times. But in Denise's new show, which I don't know that's coming back on Bravo and E, about her life with her daughters. Oh my God, it's just Fly is back. Oh my God, wait. Oh geez. Oh my God, there's 2. Okay, you guys, whenever there's 2 flies hanging out on a set, I do think it's my parents that just want to be part of the fun. But we trapped one of them in a glass, and now the other one is hanging out. Okay, we can keep that. I don't know. Who cares? Getting back to it. Charlie's led a crazy life, and lots of women, lots of sex, lots of drug use, lots of craziness on his part. And he reveals in the documentary that comes out on September 10th that he had sex with men. And it was during a time when he was using crack. And I really cannot wait to watch it and see how he speaks about it. I commend the honesty. There has been rumors about this kind of behavior and other things that are even more upsetting that I will, talk about on Patreon because it's just too crazy juicy, but it involves the 2 Corys. Anyway, so she looked great. She's doing great. Still trying to get Aaron's family out of the property that they've been living in for 4 years, the brother and the parents, and get them on their way. It's very frustrating for us to hear what she's going through. He is asking for spousal support. She then in turn asked for spousal support from him. I think just to counteract that claim, I don't know. I'm not a divorce attorney because he says I don't have a job and I have no income. There's been so many accounts of what he's done, said horrible things about her in the press, about her being a mother. Supposedly he did want to adopt Eloise, who was her adopted child that she adopted as a single woman. And she allegedly filed the paperwork wrong. So he is not the biological father of that child, he's not the adoptive father. It's only her, which is interesting too. I wonder if that's part of this divorce so that he would have regular custodial visits and therefore she would have to pay child support if he was officially the dad. So, if she can get out of spousal support, can he get child support, even though she adopted this child as a single woman and there is no legal adoption on his part. So it's a big, awful mess, but she's just as delightful and down to earth as ever. And I made a joke about the backwards jacket, so no more of that. And So we'll see. We'll see what it is. Dorit was there. She was probably ordering her 3 carcass out lemon vodka drinks. And, all of it was great. It was a real fun time. Okay. So then we have the craziest thing that happened with a Karen who has gone rogue. A Karen in the worst way. I am on a campaign to make Karens great again because I have a friend named Karen and I have a sister-in-law named Karen, and they are both great, smart, fabulous women. This woman, we don't know her name, but she was at a Phillies game and a ball fell into the stands and everybody went on the ground to grab it. And this man fair and squarely grabbed it on the ground before this woman did, who has remember at the height of Kate Gosling's fandom with her Kate +8, and she had that really bad haircut. It's like that, but worse. It's like blonde on the top and dark in the back. And he goes over, gets the ball, goes right to his 8-year-old son and gives him the ball. And then she comes up and he's like, whoa. And she's screaming at him. There's been so many fans that have gotten even a closer look at her and what she's saying. And she's like, no, you took it from me. You took it. So she's claiming it was in her hand and he took it. There's no way for us to really know that from the footage I saw. Still, he has a kid. You don't. What the fuck is your problem? Anyway, he, I believe, did the right thing and immediately said to his son, sorry, and gave her the ball because she was acting like a lunatic. There has been memes and things who, is he a beta male? Was that wrong that he gave it back? And most of the comments are the way I feel no, you're showing your son that even if you're right, it's not worth it. You don't want to get in an argument with someone that is this unhinged. She is a woman as well. And that's being a gentleman. That's being the bigger person. And also that's protecting yourself. It turned out great. The team heard about it, gave him a signed bat, brought him back into, I know it's not called backstage, but whatever, locker room, met the players. Somebody else offered them some very generous gift for their family to enjoy. And I don't know where this woman is. I have not found if she has a job and I want to know what her job is. So please comment on my YouTube. Please subscribe to my YouTube and comment. What is her job? Has she tried to defend herself? What is happening? So that was a great viral baseball moment, Phillies. Kristen Cabot, who is the other famous girl of the summer, who was at the Coldplay concert with the guy she was working with hugging her behind when the big camera caught them. She has reportedly filed for divorce, according to TMZ, from her husband. And yeah, I'm not surprised. And what a moment. You know what? I know we joke about how many documentaries are out. And for people that have followed pop culture and for the last 30 years, it is annoying that that there's no new documentaries about something I don't already know about. But this will be a documentary too. And you know what? Can we at least wait 10 years for this doc to come out? Please, please. Unless some real juicy fallout happens. If they just have some clean divorces and she's left the company and whatever. But I don't really think this constitutes a Netflix doc. So Netflix exec that listened to Juicy Scoop, we don't need to see this documentary. This is weird as fuck. A surgeon named Dr. Hopper, he had a sexual obsession for amputee porn. And he had his own legs cut off for a $600,000 insurance payday. And he is facing charges for insurance fraud. How sick is this shit, okay? Can you imagine he had his own legs cut off? It was like a double whammy. He was into amputee porn. He then became an amputee. And then he got $600K from the insurance scam of saying like he needed his legs cut off and he didn't. And he did some weird thing where he like, I don't know, made them super cold or something in which then he could constitute having them removed. It was real weird. So, and this person's a doctor like this, which we all think, is one of the highest, most difficult jobs to get. What a weirdo. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand trusted by over 100.5 million people. You can feel great about what you're putting into your body since Nutrafol hair growth supplements are backed by peer-reviewed studies and NSF content certified, the gold standard and third-party certification for supplements. I have been using Nutrafol for quite a while now. I absolutely love it. My hair has changed as I've aged. It wasn't feeling like it used to. And I love using these supplements. It's so easy. I take them every day and I've noticed a huge difference and a consistency that my hair is staying strong and fluffy and shiny. See thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our Juicy Scoopers $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code JuicyScoop. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code JuicyScoop. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code JuicyScoop. This episode of Juicy Scoop is brought to you by Booking.com, Booking.yeah. From vacation rentals to hotels across the U.S., Booking.com has the ideal stay for anyone, even those who might seem impossible to please. So whether you're booking for yourself, your partner, your picky teens, or your sleep light early riser mom, you can find exactly what you're booking for on Booking.com. Guys, I know many of us are looking to book family trips to go visit our college student, maybe for a football weekend, maybe for something at their sorority house. And you might be bringing your mom, you might be bringing an older adult sibling that might have a significant other. And that's where Booking.com, Booking.yeah comes in, because there's so much to choose from in whatever city you're looking at. And I know that we're looking into it and there's so much to choose from, and I'm so excited to do that. So if our family can find the perfect stay on Booking.com, anyone can. Find exactly what you're booking for. Booking.com, Booking.yeah. Book today on the site or in the app. Okay, then we get to the VMAs last night. They were in New York City, and you know what? No, you guys, I am going to report on it, and no, I didn't watch it. Okay, I didn't. I just don't care enough to sit through a long award show anymore about music. However, I looked at the red carpet fashions and I watched the highlights of the performances, and I'll give you a little rundown on it so then you at least know what happened last night. Most importantly, the two Hunting Wives lesbians stars came on the red carpet looking great and wigless. So that was nice. So they were looking good, and Brittany Snow and, oh God, I forgot the other girl's name, the main star. Anyway, they looked great. I definitely think there's going to be a second season. It's based on a book, and even if there isn't more to the story, they're going to keep these characters going because it was such a big hit. In some New Jersey news on the carpet, because there were a lot of reality stars there. It's New York City, it's the VMAs, it's a red carpet, but Danielle Cabral, she has only been on the show Real House of New Jersey for a couple years. And the scoop there is that she said they're doing testing with new housewives where they're just doing like scenes to see if these girls would work out, if there's a connection with Melissa Gorga, Dolores, and Margaret Josephs. Teresa is not part of that. However, would you necessarily need a Teresa at that level, like to do the hard work of doing scenes for free? Or does that mean she really isn't going to be coming back? Because the only friends she really has are like, I don't even know who she's friends with anymore, because the Jennifer Aiden is not coming back based on her Jersey Mike's behavior. I mean, listen, that was bad. But when you think about like, if she could have like forever? Is that going to be her story? Like, oh, I was a housewife and then I got fired. Oh, why did you get fired? Oh, because I was really fucking horrible to a Jersey Mike's person at 7 a.m. with tuna fish sandwiches, which is a crime in itself. Who the fuck orders a tuna fish sandwich at 7 a.m. and puts it on a plane to the Bahamas with my family on New Year's Day? So people are hungover on a flight and then smelling your tuna fish sandwich. But anyway, she was very, very rude to the people working there. And it all got found out because she told it herself. She was one of those people that was like, oh my God, to my followers, everybody, like, look how can you believe that this person who's making minimum wage, making my sandwich on New Year's Day, whatever, didn't treat me like the queen that I am. So I don't know that she'll ever recover from that. She was supposed to go on the Wives by the Sea, that special cruise, which is going to be Dolores, Teresa, Jennifer Aiden. Jennifer Aiden got the boot from the Jersey Mike scandal and was replaced by Shannon Bedore. That has been canceled. People don't know if it's been canceled because nobody signed up or because actually Dolores is going to be busy filming with or without Teresa. We don't know. Anyway, she was pretty classy about her answer. She's like, oh, they're looking at new people and a shakeup will be good. And she's being smart about it. She certainly is not guaranteed coming back. Doesn't seem like she even will, but she's being classy about it, showing up on the red carpet, being relevant, doing interviews, and, saying like, I trust whatever the producers want will be the best for everyone involved, and how very smart thing to do. There's some other, fun fashions. I'm going to say it, you guys. I've been saying it for a while. I am ready. Can we do a movement to stop the swimsuit sheer long cover-ups that you'd wear around a pool with your bikini underneath? Can that stop being black tie attire? Please. It's just not that original. I don't think it's a aha moment anymore. I don't think it's like, ooh, look, I can see your camel toe, or I can see your vagina, cleavage. Literally, like you're wearing I don't know. We can see your butt crack. Okay. Ooh, your belly button's showing. I don't know. Good body, bad body. It's just not that original anymore. And I think we need to move past it. And it's been a thing for like 3 years. So I think it's done its time. I really do. Alex Earl wore a short hot dress. She's got a real tiny, good body, with a nice boob job. And it was a very extreme side tit shot. And I think that's good. I think that's great for her. I did not even realize, is doing Dancing with the Stars too. So is Hilaria Baldwin. And some people do not think it's fair that Hilaria Baldwin is doing it because she has such an extensive dance background. She was doing ballroom dance when she decided to become Spanish and hang out where Alec Baldwin was enjoying vegan food and speak loudly in a Spanish accent when she knew he was obsessed with Selma Hayek on 30 Rock and try to win his heart over, which she succeeded at. According to Juliana Huff, the rumor is that she was campaigning for that for a long time to get herself on. And she really is a great dancer. Like, she really is. She's very fit and she knows how to do ballroom dancing. So is that fair? And I'm like, yeah, I do. Because if you're in the past, you've had professional ice skaters and they've won, and you've had like boy band dancers that have then done it. So I think it's fine. You know what? It's a personal vote too. So then don't vote for her if you don't want her to win. The two mom talk girls are doing it. Everyone's body gets so snatched, and those girls just had babies. So like this, how great is that? They're just going to get their bodies snatched, dancing around. And it's kind of fun because the one girl, Jennifer Affleck, her husband got so upset that she went to like Magic Mike or Chippendales or whatever in Vegas in one of the storylines. And I think they're doing something with that dance or something. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to be totally watching it, you guys. But that's what happened with Dancing with the Stars. Now, but along with the Hilaria Baldwin, yeah, she'll have the Baldinos, the little, kids in the, watching her. And I don't know if that show's going to continue. But talk about someone that made lemonade out of lemons. I mean, when we really thought she was done, when everyone was like, I can't believe she tried to be a Spanish person all this time. Now she just doesn't really talk about it and just loves Spanish stuff and is still around. And the husband needs her to make the money because he's old and nobody wants him doing Westerns anymore. So there you go. A lot of people talked about Jessica Simpson. Oh my God, what's her face? She's unrecognizable. What do you guys want? You know what I mean? She looked good. People get some shit done. It could be a tight pony. It could be a facelift. Who cares? She looked good. Good for her. Mariah Carey sang and got this award and was kind of like sassy about finally getting the award. And then people were reporting that she like did a fake hit of this dancer, which I guess is homage to an old music video that she did. Lots of sexy dances from the big stars. And then Lady Gaga came out and she had to go right over to Madison Square Garden because she already had a concert set there. So her performance was pre-taped. And it's so theatrical and it's very red and satanic. I just think that's dramatic. I don't know. Some people could fight me on it. It's what she does. She's got these weird hands and it's part of the song. And she's such a great, it's a great show. She's a great performer and she never dials it in. So I'll give her that. Meanwhile, Britney Spears was just dancing in her house in a little lingerie dress. And it was sad. It was sad because there was a lot of references to the performances, whether it was Sabrina Carpenter or whatever, like people thinking it was great. And then there'd be comments like, this is so much like Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears, who did it first, who did it better. Like our millennial girls are better than these Gen Zs. I don't know. I mean, they're all very talented. The songs are great. They put on great performances. It seemed like, again, nobody dialed it in. I mean, there was a time, that one performance where Britney did really dial it in, but for the most part, she's always delivered. Well, now she is just doing her all at her home and posting on Instagram. And the fact that it appeared last night, and it is my knowledge that it appeared during the VMAs, she might have not even known the VMAs was going on and she just felt like dancing. I don't know. It was just like... But then again, who cares? You've done it all. You don't have to get all dressed up to show. You're still going to get 1 million people or more to watch this video of you dancing in your house. So go dance in your foyer with your brown sensible pumps and fedora. Okay. You guys, this is some exciting Catholic news. As you know, I am Catholic. Okay. And I've had a wonderful relationship with doing my Catholic education, my children, going to church, getting married in the church, all of it. We have a new saint that was announced yesterday, and it is a millennial. Yes, it's Saint Carlos Acutis, and he was a teenage boy. He would be, a millennial today. I think he passed like 20 years ago when he was only 15. And he was very religious, much more religious than his own mom. He got his mom to convert to Catholicism or to come back to the church into Catholicism. And he was a really amazing computer programmer and was like, just had a real gift for computers. And this was 20 years ago. So this was, the internet was not what it was today. And he was just adamant in finishing this web project that involved all these miracles involving the Eucharist over time in history. And he wanted to get it out there. Then at 15, he contracted leukemia, and after that, shortly died. and he has been canonized. He is a actual saint, and his mother was there for it, for the Pope. And I mean, I've never seen anything like this. I never remember even really being aware in my lifetime of someone becoming a saint. And for those of you that don't understand what saints are throughout history, we've had these saints, and when you get oftentimes your middle name or your first name might be named after a saint, and there's saints that do different, that are who you might want to pray to. Now, other religions think the whole praying to a saint is like wrong, but in creating the saints, it's like there is a saint who you pray to named Anthony if you lose something or forget something, and there's like a cute little prayer to it. There is Saint Joseph, who, if you can't sell your house, you take a Saint Joseph statue and you bury it in your property, and supposedly it'll sell. As someone who was a realtor her whole life, and my parents were Catholic, we never did that. So, I mean, there's that kind of like stuff like that we haven't really participated in, but we would pray to Saint Anthony if we couldn't find something like a jewelry or something important. And so this, I'm just explaining it as simply as I can. Very unique, different thing, and kind of a really exciting time for the church. We have an American Pope. Now we have our first millennial saint, and his good deed involved the internet. So it was the first saint that did something amazing on the internet for the Catholic Church. Very, very unique. Okay. This is a horrible nightmare story. And I talk about Amanda Knox with my sister Shannon on tomorrow's episode of Juicy Crimes. I hope you have subscribed. I hope that you have left a review, especially if you like it, and you've shared it with somebody. It's every Wednesday, Juicy Crimes, and tomorrow's episode is all about the story of Amanda Knox, who, by the way, little new thing happened over the weekend. She did stand up. Yes, Amanda Knox, the one-time accused murderer. She was a college student in Italy when her roommate was found dead, and she was accused and convicted, and all the nightmare that happened, which leads us to her special series on Hulu and her doing stand-up today. We discuss. But she did do stand-up, and it was a solid set. I saw a clip of it. I follow her. It was a solid set. I don't know if she'll continue doing it. I don't know if it was just, someone helped her write her, or she wrote it, or if she's really going to like pursue it for real. But good for her. My God. I mean, so we talk a lot, my sister Shannon, the defense attorney, Shannon McDonald Goldstein, about how stories throughout my life that have been about someone being locked up abroad are so terrifying to me. There is a beautiful law student from the UK who has been sentenced to 25 years in Dubai, a Dubai prison, which is, according to New York Post, horrible conditions. Actual sexual assaults happen all the time on these women, over a coke bust. And they're trying to do a fund. They're trying to get her out, but she has been sentenced to 25 years in Dubai. Now, Amanda Knox was in Italy, and that was horrific. But I would think a woman in Dubai trying to get that done, supposedly the whole trial or whatever, the sentencing was like all in Arabic, which she doesn't speak. Again, don't do coke. Don't hang out with people that do coke. Don't carry anything with somebody else. She was with a friend and the friend's boyfriend, and somehow the coke was found on her person, and it was enough to be seen as possibly selling it. What a nightmare. So watch out. Oh, this is an interesting story. So Matthew McConaughey, who is always a delight, okay, and a happy dad, and has been married to his wife for a long time, and he has a real good-looking son named Levi. So Levi is starring in a movie on Apple called The Lost Bus, which is, I didn't know what this was about. but it is a scripted show about the true story of what happened during the Paradise Fires in Northern California back in like 2018 that were just devastating, much like the Palisades fire. Hope you guys are following Spencer Pratt. Okay. Anyway, there were these kids and they were on a bus and he plays the bus driver and then America Fiera plays the teacher. And it's like from their perspective of trying to get these kids out and safe in these horrific conditions while they're in this school bus, like without their parents and their whole town's being burned down. And so Matthew McConaughey said, I made sure that when the director looked at my son's audition tape that he didn't know the last name. And he loved his acting ability and then said, oh, by the way, this is McConaughey's son. And the director said, even better, great, but I would have hired him anyway. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't really care. I've talked about Nepo baby acting, and I do believe that just like if you're come from a family of doctors, you're probably pretty good at science. And if you're hearing about, if your dad's a contractor, you're probably more likely to be handy because it's in your blood, but also you're learning about tools and things to do. So I think that acting's the same thing. But of course, this job has, real connections, but you probably are a good actor. You're good looking. And so this is a huge role for someone that hasn't really done much. So do I think, would someone even get to the stage of having their audition tape be in there for a leading role of an Apple series if there wasn't a ton of credits behind this person, unless they got to make sure that it got seen? So I think, yes, he probably does a great job in it. I don't think the guy knew that he was McConaughey's son, but being McConaughey's son got him to the place for the director to see it. That's what I think about that. But he's a good-looking guy. I like Matthew McConaughey, and the movie sounds good, so we'll watch it. This was some depressing, gross news. Last Comic Standing, this guy won, I think in like 2009, John Reap. Southern comic, redhead, 53, arrested for child porn. Yes, you know what I mean. I have to watch the words I say here. It appears like it's having materials on, either he sent them or had them on his devices. They were, those devices, he was arrested. He's out on bail. He was supposed to perform a couple days ago in like North Carolina. I don't know if that happened. But that's what he's facing, is some type of possession on, devices, computers, sending it through the internet, whatever. Real gross and real depressing. Okay. Pamela Anderson, she won an award. She accepted her career achievement tribute at the Deauville American Film Festival. And her speech was confusing. So there was an article out last week that TMZ was saying that upon good sources or whatever, that the Pamela Anderson romance with Liam Neeson, since they both starred in Naked Gun, was a publicity stunt to get us to want to go see the movie. And it's something that I had questioned if it was real or not. It was fun to think, oh my God, here are two people, they're in a movie together, they're age appropriate. He's a widower. Remember, his beautiful wife didn't wear a helmet and hit her head while skiing down the bunny slope with her two boys, and then made the mistake of not going to the hospital because she didn't want to ruin the boys' ski trip. She passed. I don't know that he's been with anyone that significant since her. So she has two boys, Brandon and Dylan, and then he has two boys. So they're all at the premiere together with their like 20-something sons. So like looked great. But then there was talk of this. And she basically says, she didn't say this is not a publicity stuff, but she kind of like dances around it and said, I would never play games with my love life. I love with my heart. And now here's the tricky part. Even when she was on Watch What Happens Live, Andy like asked her about it or asked them about it. And I can't remember if Liam was on too. And he goes, I know you can't answer, but we love it. And it's like, so she never said, yes, we're in love. Yes, we're dating. She let the publicity happen. She didn't deny it. She didn't go on Juicy Scoop and say, no, Heather, we're not dating. So then she does a speech saying, I would never do that. So I don't know. I still don't know. Are they dating or not? I feel like, was he your date on the carpet for this? I think she kind of allowed it to happen. And now she's like, I don't want to be known for someone that does that. That's what I think. But also fake things are happening here. Abby Hensel's husband. Abby is one of two of the conjoined twins. These are the two girls that, you know, they have one body and two heads, and one of the girls fell in love and the other one is along for the ride. Sorry. That's okay. Sorry. It's true. It's fine. They've been on TV. They, you know, it is what it is, and they're having a happy life, the three of them. Anyway, there's a TikTok account that is just grabbing footage from their Facebook and their family's Facebook. And now the husband's saying, that is not our TikTok. That is a fake TikTok. And one of the things that this fake TikTok account posted was the girls carrying a child into a car, like a car seat. Again, he didn't say, yes, we've adopted a child, or we don't have a child, or this is just a friend's child that they were babysitting. I mean, they were teachers or are teachers. So obviously they would probably be great caring for a child. I mean, it takes a village or two moms or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, I mean, you know, you'd be a very involved aunt is all I'm saying if it was one of the girls' child. I mean, if they get a child, I think they both got to be, I mean, how do you just decide that one is the mom and one isn't? And I mean, obviously I don't think they could carry a child. I don't know, but you know, some aunts overstep their boundaries. I mean, how can you not? Okay. But I don't know if they have a kid or not, but that's just an interesting concept if they do. Okay. Little update. Kelly Wolf, who we've been watching her have a very difficult time with her divorce from Scott Wolf, who, by the way, is first cousins with my friend Josh Wolf. And, you know, they had a marriage for a long time. They have 3 kids. She was posting a lot about him being abusive and all this other stuff. And from what she was sharing, it really looked like she was the one that was at least verbally abusive and spiraling for some reason. She has entered a rehab after an arrest and the messy split. Her children then, I think her oldest son had to post something defending his dad. And so Billy Bush, of all people, just because he was mentioned so much on my first episode of Juicy Crimes, he was good friends with both of them and, you know, was trying to say she's a good mother. She just needs help. So hopefully she'll get help and be able to, you know, continue being a very active parent. But I think it's great that she's in the rehab because it was very difficult to watch those things. There were rumors about Kris Jenner and her new face breaking up with her long-term boyfriend, Corey. And people said, oh, we saw them argue at part of the Lauren Sanchez wedding. And according to TMZ, it's an exclusive. Kris Jenner and Corey Gamble, stronger than ever, find split rumors laughable. So they are doing just fine. They've been together for a long time. They do seem to have something good going on. And it's never looked better. And that's it. They just, it's working for them. But they've been together like at least 10 years. So there you go. Do you remember the Publishers Clearinghouse? If you're around my age, you would remember there was always these commercials about like Publishers Clearinghouse, and they would just come with like a big check, and you're like, what is that? Well, several Publisher Clearinghouse winners claim they are no longer receiving their promised lifetime payouts, and it's having a devastating effect on their lives because the company declared bankruptcy in April. And now there's an investigation going on that found at least 10 past winners who had been receiving annual payments never received their yearly check in the last few years of like $250,000. That is why, you guys, when you win the lotto, you just get the lump sum. Always get the lump sum. If you shop at Nordstrom, like I do, and I buy something and they go, you have a couple notes available, $40 worth of these Nordstrom notes. Would you like to use them now or save them for later? No, you use them then. I may never go back to Nordstrom. Nordstrom's may close their door. You use them then. You get all your money now because of shit like this. People and things go bankrupt. There is no guarantee. So that's your lesson of the day. This woman is in a lot of trouble. She is a dog mom, and she is facing felony charges. Now, just relax. I know you're like, oh my God, Heather, do not tell me that this woman abused her dog and that's the felony. No, she elevated her dog because she registered her dog, Maya, as a human and was able to cast 2 votes when voting in elections. We don't know who she voted for, Maya. I hope that Maya is safe in that if she didn't vote for the person that you believe in, that you won't come after her and cyberbully her and call her, something that rhymes with her name. I just hope that this dog can just like go to the dog park and stick with her mom. And I don't think it's okay. I think that she should be prosecuted, but the dog was innocent. We don't know how the dog feels about things. So if this gets found out, which it will in the trial of who Maya voted for, just remind yourself that she is just a dog and you don't need to go up to her at the dog park and yell at her and tell her how she's ruining America. Okay, speaking of making America, you guys, I will be in America. I will be in Las Vegas, November 14th at the MGM Grand, a beautiful room, the David Copperfield Theater. And it will be a fabulous show. It's 10 o'clock on November 14th. Yes, that's BravoCon weekend. Luckily, many of you have already bought your tickets. So there is a low ticket alert on this now. Get your tickets, 10 o'clock Friday. This is going to be, we have nothing to lose. We are saving juice, hilarious bits, funny. This is stand-up conversation, the whole thing. It's musical. There's some musicals in it. I've got Brandy and Julie along with surprises along the way. This will be the 3rd year I've done it, being the 4th BravoCon I did in New York and Vegas before. The show is always great. And so you got to get your tickets. You go to heathermcdonald.net. Okay. Speaking of Housewives, now let's get into some Bravo stuff. First, and then I'm going into OC. But first, I just want to say I've been watching Real Housewives of Miami, and it's pretty entertaining. Now, I've heard, different things. I had Stephanie on. I liked talking to her. There is talk about, what her financial status might be, if she'll come back, all of that. She's doing her thing. But on the last episode, it's Marisol who invites everybody on the Virgin Cruise Line because she's great friends with the owner, and she gets to stay in the Rockstar Suite, which, by the way, I stayed in that suite. I just am saying, when we did a Juicy Scoop cruise many years ago where we just hung out with Juicy Scoopers, and it was this like couple day cruise. I think it was like 3 or 4 days, maybe it was 3 days, where you just go and then you go to his island, Richard Branson's island, for the day. It's like a beach day, but the rest of the time you're just like sailing. And so it was fun to see the room, and it was pretty spectacular. We had like our own deck and our own jacuzzi. So it was kind of fun to watch these girls like brag about it. And it's really juicy. As far as the show goes, I love the backdrop of Miami. I think it's fun to watch. I really like their fashions. I feel like their fights and stuff are real, and the relationships are real, and it's very likable. So one thing that's going on with Julia that I think is juicy. Julia is a former model who has 2 adult daughters, and she's married to Martina, the famous tennis player, who is 68 and much older. In the last couple seasons, she said she wanted to be a mom again because her kids were getting older. She successfully adopted with Martina 2 brothers that are like 1.5 and 3. And she has revealed that her older daughters are not cool with it and haven't come around. And I don't know where they stand now because this was always filmed a while ago. She did say she had a conversation with one and they said, "I love you," or she said, "I love you." However, that's kind of an interesting speculation too about her. Like, why are the daughters mad about it? Do they think that maybe, she was busy when they were growing up, but supposedly they went to boarding school and maybe they have some resentment and now she's like going to be this stay-at-home mom later in life? Is it about inheritance of some sort? Because Martina's not their mom, but now Martina's the mom of these boys. So maybe they're going to get more money because I assume the majority of Julia's money comes from Martina's wealth as a famous tennis player. I don't know. That's all juicy. Then we had Lisa on my show with her boyfriend Jody about her app about divorce. She gets officially divorced in this, which nobody was nice to her about. Like, she was at a dinner and she had to notarize something in the middle of this divorce with this awful man who talked shit about her and about his mistress on audio while we were like, that's how she found out. She actually watched, the episode happen. It was happening in real life. And then she had to watch it back of him saying while he was mic'd up that, he feels bad that he is cheating on his mistress with his wife, even hanging out there. I mean, it's, if you haven't listened to that episode with Lisa and you are watching Housewives, I say you go back a couple months and listen to Lisa on Juicy Scoop. She finally gets divorced from him. And Larsa is just not nice to her at all. And instead, they want to give Alexia a great party because she's with her guy, and Todd, and he broke up with her and is getting divorced from her. But she still loves him. Todd then goes on and does like a 10-minute video on social media a couple weeks ago and says how, he doesn't like being a house husband on this show, that the cast members disparage him and say he has no money when in fact he bought a $26 million building and he didn't want to do the show. And he basically had to decide between his wife and being on the show or not being on the show and losing his wife, because that's what his wife cares about, which is a rude thing to say about Alexia. He threatens a lot suing Bravo. I don't know if that's happened or if this is simmered down, but all these things make for a pretty juicy TV show. There was people are talking about if Howard Stern is going to be coming back or not, and there was like a prank today that was done where Andy Cohen was in the Howard Stern studio saying, "Well, now you're going to love you're going to love Andy Cohen radio instead of Howard Stern." And I was like, "What?" I started reading the comments, and Beth Stern is like, does it a laughing face, so I keep reading. It was just some prank. So I don't know. I guess he's still on Sirius. Good for you, Howard Stern. But, when we talk about the shit that went on TV 10, 15 years ago, Howard Stern had a show on TV with Robin Quivers, his right-hand girl, and some of the other players that were his regulars, called But a Face. And girls would come out with a bag over their head in a hot bikini, and they have a great body. And the expression, the first time I heard it, I was in college, is she's a but a face, meaning she's got a great body, but her face is not great. So this clip starts to go viral of this one girl, body comes out, looking great. They pull off, and I think she's beautiful. I'm like, this girl has a great face. Like, what? And they're all being like, looks like it was run over by a train track or something. Like, these people, none of them attractive, ripping on her as she has to stand there and be like, I'm like, first of all, how did you agree to come on this show? What producer got it in your head that this was a good idea? Your vulnerable self. How much were you paid to do this? And then to have these unattractive people who have faces for radio, okay, who then got to be on TV, are ripping on your looks. And this video that I found then shows the woman today, and she's even more beautiful. And someone put it all together, and it was, we deserve better then, we deserve better now. I mean, but Howard Stern is still here, and things happen that are insane, that are on our TVs if you just go back 15 years. So now let me get back into the Real Housewives of OC. I put it at the end of the show just in case you're over it, you don't care, but some juicy shit happened over the weekend. I'm going to try to explain this as simply as I can, but not to make anybody that's up on it bored. Real House of OC started 19 years ago. And Tamra Judge, the most famous one, that we talk about the most, she joined season 3. Gretchen Rossi joined season 4. In season 4, her first season, she is invited over to Tamra's house to have an etiquette dinner where they're going to have a chef come, and Tamra's got a lesson about how to use her forks and knives. And Tamra is very curious about Gretchen's situation because she's a very attractive young girl, and she's engaged to a rich older man who unfortunately has a very progressed cancer. So he's in the hospital all the time. She invites her over for dinner, and we're watching this with the other housewives and their husbands. By the way, nobody is with their person anymore except for Gretchen and Slade. The next season she gets with Slade after her fiance dies. But everybody is divorced. Vicky had a husband she's divorced from. Dawn. Lynn is divorced from her husband now. Lynn Curtin. Tamara and Simon. Wait, who else was there? Gina gets divorced too. I mean, everybody is with their Alexis Bellino and her husband. None of them are with their spouse, but we're watching it anyway. She comes as a single girl to the dinner, and we see Ryan. She goes, Ryan is my 22-year-old son, and he took bartending class. He's going to help. And she says, we're going to get Gretchen naked, wasted. We want her to do something stupid so that basically we can prove that she's really not interested in this older rich man, and she, isn't this person that she pretends to be. Well, she does get really drunk, probably because she has been at the hospital all the time and is ready to have some fun, and is her first season on TV and isn't really thinking about it. I should probably slow it on the drinks. And as a scene, which you can watch on Peacock, it's really shocking that this was even on. And I have questioned, why didn't Bravo remove it when they put everything on Peacock? But then I guess if you're going to do that for one thing, then you'd have to do it for everything. And these people have signed their life away. you know, they're never going to protect the reality stars. They get paid very little. They do it because they want to be famous and hope that it leads to other opportunities and money. And, you know, that's what happens. So he's hitting on her. And one of the things he does that is crazy is he does the shocker sign, which appears like he's doing it to his mom. Like they have a plan going between Ryan and Tamara. And people that don't know what the shocker sign is, it's 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink. So it's 2 fingers and it's like this. This weekend, I had a little girls' weekend, and my sorority, she wasn't my sorority, but she was my college friend, and my sister, Shannon, spent the night, and they were not aware of the shocker sign. I discovered the shocker sign around that time when I was, at Chelsea lately is when I heard of the 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink situation. And it's very, very obvious, and you'll see the photo, that he's doing that, which is kind of hilarious since he's being filmed and he's, but he's only been on the show. His mom's only been on the show for 1 season. This is her now 2nd season. And the reality show was such a different world then. I mean, they were on a show that was getting, really good views, but the only kind of press or they would do is maybe they'd get on like a daytime talk show here or there. And then they didn't even really have reunions. So there was not all of this podcast, Instagram, TikTok, people talking about it, reporting on it, writing good comments, writing mean comments. None of that was it. So they really were in like their little gated bubble of like filming this show. And I don't really think they were walking around like people recognizing them even that much because it was still like such a little niche thing. So they're doing this thing and they're all drinking and being themselves. And Ryan is extremely aggressive to Gretchen and really like touching her back, and she's loopy, and it's triggering to watch. To watch it back is shocking. And really the thing is she goes to the bathroom and he follows into the bathroom and the mics are on and they just show like the outdoor of the bathroom and him trying to kiss her, saying, "Can I have a kiss? Can I have a kiss?" And she keeps saying no. And she's trying to placate him. "You're attractive. I'm attracted to you." No, no, no. So that happened. I started watching the rest of the day, the following episodes and the following season. Following season, there's some shit that went down between the two of them, which I don't know, between Gretchen and Tamara. But it really didn't have to do with Naked Waste. It had to do with, I don't know, a website or a blog or same kind of shitty things about each other. Tamara was saying, again, "Gretchen, you had a boyfriend." She's like, "That wasn't my boyfriend." There's a whole other like lawsuit story that involves this guy that is a big deal and confusing. Then she's on the show for a couple of years and then she's not. And now she's back and she meets Katie, the new girl. And before she's asked back on the show, has dinner, and somehow the conversation comes up. And then Katie says, she said, "I was so sick that night. I think I was drugged and I went to the hospital the next day." Gretchen was on the show. She denied ever saying that. She did not go to the hospital the next day. She's never told that story to anybody that way. Did she get really wasted? Yeah. Was it weird? Yeah. Never, ever, ever. What's weird is now this story continues on, and Katie then goes and supposedly tells this podcaster and, content creator, Kiki Monique, that Gretchen said that she was drugged and had to go to the hospital. Kiki then asked a couple other reporters, podcasters, whatever, "Had you ever heard this? Is this true?" It gets back to Tamara. Tamara's like, "How dare you fucking say that or insinuate that?" She brings it up on camera. And then Katie's like, "I never said that." And Gretchen's like, "I believe her." Then they meet with Kiki, and Kiki goes, "Yes, she did say it. She said it to me. My friend and I met her for lunch. She said it to me. I'm like, bring the other friend out, because then Katie now is going and doing interviews and saying, no, I never even talked about Gretchen to Kiki. So then I'm like, well, then how did Kiki hear the story? So she goes on one podcast and says that, and right after goes on another, which is Teddy's and Tamara's podcast. And in between, like within the day before, someone did this Instagram account called Face Reality 16, did a whole highlight reel of their theory that because Gretchen and Sheena Shea from Vanderpump in the Valley have been friends for so long, and Kiki is occasionally on Sheena's podcast, that it was Gretchen who told Sheena, who told Kiki, and then Kiki told all these people to somehow get Gretchen back on the show. It really makes no sense at all. So Teddy brings that up. Katie's like, that I heard that rumor too. Sheena Shea is like, oh, fuck you, 2Ts. I did not do that. And this is a story that no one has ever heard Gretchen ever say in any whispers or any personal relationships, whatever. But the fans that write in have really become Team Katie in this. They believe that the girls have ganged up on her. There is a lie detector test, which of course should not be taken seriously. It's on a reality show. The producers obviously set it up. They're going after Emily because it's at Emily's house, and she goes, we're going to have a lie detector test. Do you think Emily put this all together and actually paid for the lie detector people? No. She probably doesn't want to say it wasn't me because she doesn't want to piss off the producers, but clearly the producers put this together to like, okay, you guys think Katie's a liar? Let's all do a lie detector test. People are examining what we're seeing on an edited show, and they are like, these girls ganged up on her. How do we know? And Katie's very comfortable saying, no, now I never even talked to Kiki about it. Kiki's just a thirsty blogger that did this. That she also says, Katie also says, my daughter had more followers and was a bigger influencer and makes more money on brand deals than I before I even joined Real Housewives of OC. Well, if she was that successful, then why was she babysitting Emily's kids? Why was she trying to get a job at a restaurant? Why was she I'm just saying, if you're that big of an influencer, why would you have to do that? Weird. There was just like a few weird things. The weirdest thing that she said, Katie says, my sister-in-laws, Matt's sister, her husband, one is a professor. No, actually two are professors. And they never watched Housewives before. They never watched Real Housewives of OC before. Well, they watch it now that I'm on it, but they never watched it. And they just happen to be walking in a park in Northern California, and they run into Slade's mom. Okay, hold on. I've watched the shows ad nauseum, and I wouldn't be able to recognize Slade's 84-year-old mother anywhere, okay? Unless she was literally standing next to him, and I would then assume maybe that's your mom. So you're telling me these two girls that never watched the show happen to run into Slade's mom at a park, and I'm like, is this some Jussie Smollett shit? What the fuck is this? So then she said, and they talked to Slade's mom, and Slade's mom said, my son's a narcissist and he's on his fourth housewife. Wait, what? I'm like, so yeah, Slade and Gretchen were on my show. I'm like, Slade, is this true? And are you like estranged from your mom or something? Would she talk? Like, first, I think it's weird that they recognize her. Second, I think it's weird that a mom would say that about her son and that she'd use the word narcissist about your own son. I mean, how are you guys super estranged? Like, haven't talked in 10 years? What? No, they're not estranged. They're fine. He asked her about it, and she's like, what is a narcissist? She's 84 years old. This is a word that's really popped up in the zeitgeist a lot in the last 8 years. You know, I mean, I remember the first time I really heard it, and it was when Dr. Drew's book came out about narcissism, and we were at Chelsea lately. So I could see why maybe she's not familiar with it. And then she said, fourth housewife. No, I never said that. Like you were with Joe and now you're with Gretchen, like who's the other two? He's like, oh, forget it. So she then said it was a very strange situation. These two women came up to me out of nowhere. She always goes and she has a routine there where she plays bocce, and they came up to her, and this all happened August 26th. They happened to find Slade's mom at this park, had this supposed conversation, and she said these negative things about her own son. And then it was told by Katie on a podcast. I'm just saying, there's some weird shit going on. And basically that is what everyone's talking about. Who is the liar? And, Gretchen said, I misspoke on camera when I said I did go to the hospital. I was so sick. I meant to say I should have. No, I didn't obviously do that. I spent the night at your house, Tamara. I don't know why. So this all came up, and now everybody's just talking about the semantics of whether someone lied about something that happened to them pretty horribly, which is on camera for the world to see. Do you imagine having your most drunken, like weird, predatory moment on camera for the rest of your life, and then you're getting accused of lying because you may or may not have said over dinner 17 years later, oh my God, it took me days to recover. I should have gone to the hospital, or I did go to the hospital, or whatever. That is what this has all come down to. And now because Katie is Asian, she was born in Korea and adopted by a white family in Georgia, that people feel that they have attacked this girl who is a woman of color, and they're being accused of that, and they're accused of being ganged up. And the comments from the Bravo fans, the DMs that all the women are getting, including Kiki Monique, including Sheena, like it is honestly really awful. It is really awful for everybody involved. And as someone that's like loved the show and really watching the old episodes, like they're all great on the show. They all are entertaining, like, and we are talking about this season a lot. So whether you say you like it or you don't like it, we're watching it. However, it's really a bummer, and I wouldn't know really how to fix it. All I could say is if I had a friend who was approached and wanted to do it, wanted some fun in her life, maybe she, has a fun personality, has a beautiful home to show off, is a little bored, would like to have a second chapter of things. And she was like, Heather, should I do the Real Housewives of whatever? This is the advice I would give her. You have to, without a doubt, hire a social media person, because you have to have an Instagram. You have to build that social media platform. Otherwise, the $70,000 you're going to get is not going to be worth your one Birkin bag. So why would you do it unless you're going to build so that you can actually have a platform later that's kind of fun and that you can make some money off of, or launch a clothing line or whatever. But if you read all this horrible shit by these awful people that choose to write it, whether half are bots and the other half are real, I think both are true. I do think housewives and stuff, hire these companies like anyone can to go after each other. And, but then I also think there's crazed fans that just do it on their own and feel like, oh my God, this person is my friend and I'm team this person and I want this person off the show. And they go in with a glass of wine and they just go off on it. And it's like their little sick thing. Somebody might watch porn. Somebody might eat ice cream and have a dark secret of like, this is like their weird little dark secret. But a lot of them aren't even anonymous. That's the thing. They're writing these horrible things about people's children and they're not even anonymous. And I would say you have to do that, because I don't care how tough skin you are. I don't care if you're the toughest skin, which I would give Lisa Vanderpump that and Kris Jenner. It affects you. It affects you. And here you do your job and you film the show, and then you can't really even, proceed with your life by posting things on social media, because the comments are so awful because people are thinking something is true about your character because of an edited reality show that you agreed to do. And, but then you can't say someone's running your Instagram because then you're inauthentic, and the whole way of getting brands is being authentic. So that would be my advice. And if you are like, just, that's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. And you just need to like have a phone that is Instagram, that maybe you just follow like a couple like, news articles or something that doesn't involve you, or you literally just have your phone for like calling friends and the internet. And then your social media person's like, here's 5 articles that are safe to read about you, and send me your photos and I'll post them and I'll edit them so that your teeth don't look totally different, but a little bit straighter, and like it's not a ridiculous thing. And we'll just try to like go back to the old days where like Elizabeth Taylor just used to like sign a few headshots and see beautiful things about how great she was in the movie, and not all the awful shit. Because I just think it's just out of hand. And that, I will end the show. Everybody go to heathermcdonald.net. Join my Patreon. It's more juice than you'd ever imagine. So many episodes, all commercial free. Join my other tiers, which are even more exclusive content of Juicy Crimes, as well as Get Me Behind Gates. And of course, please subscribe to Juicy Crimes. There is a link below, and spread the word and leave a review and keep it going so that I can keep bringing you those juicy interviews. Tomorrow's interview is with my sister, Shannon McDonald Goldstein. You guys love those episodes with Shannon, and we get all into Amanda Knox. Thank you.